Wednesday, and we are getting super crazy today. I am going to show you how to make a sauce tomate, or it's a tomato sauce. It's kind of one of the 5 classic French sauces in traditional French cooking. And just because I said French doesn't mean it's going to be difficult. But it is something that I love, and it's a base for so many things, and I'll show you so many different ways to use it. It does take a little time, and but that's okay. It's a Sunday, I've got a little time, and I feel like making the kitchen smell nice and yummy, and it makes a lot, so I do this, once every couple months, and I have enough to get me by. So this is a Dutch oven. If you have a bigger skillet, you could use that, but I'm melting 4 tablespoons of butter, and I am going to add pancetta, which is salt pork cured from the belly of the pig, and it is different from bacon because bacon is smoked, so that if you did use bacon, it would give your sauce a smoky flavor. If you cannot find pancetta, just go to your butcher and ask for their salted pork. That will work perfectly. So we are just going to saute this together, wait for that fat to disintegrate or melt down, and I'll be right back. You can see my pancetta, or my salt cured pork, has kind of browned up a little bit. It was on medium heat. I did turn it down a little bit because that extra fat mixed with the butter, it was sizzling pretty intensely. So I'm going to move that back up to medium heat and then add my carrots and onions. And why would I make a sauce like this when I can just get a sauce at the store pre-made? Nothing is as flavorful and layered as this kind of sauce, and as you already see, we're not just throwing tomatoes in here and cooking them down. We are adding lots of flavors, and we will continue to do so, but it's layered, and has so much depth. Again, it does take a little bit of time. When you're having fun in the kitchen, and it's completely worth it. And when your family says, "Oh my gosh, Mom, this is fantastic," it makes you want to make it again for them. So we are just going to get these veggies to brown a little bit. All right, so I've been simmering about 5 minutes here, and instead of getting brown, the bottom of the pan is getting brown. But I'm waiting for the onions just to get a little bit more translucent, and so we are ready for our next step. I kind of play also with the adjustment. It's been on medium heat, but I did move it down because, again, that fat and that butter, they're just cooking maybe a little faster than I want to. So we're going to make what's called a roux, an R-O-U-X, if you've seen that in cookbooks, where it is a thickening agent for sauces and soups. And a roux is just a fancy French word for saying an equal parts thickening agent between flour and fat. And we do have a bit of fat in here. But as we know, a little bit of that fat makes a wonderful flavor. Now, I said half a cup. I started out with half a cup, kind of looking at how much of that fat is in there, and I think I'm just going to add just a little bit more. Yes, to kind of soak up some of that fatty liquid. So, and our roux turns a little bit brown. So our next step is to add our tomatoes. These are my mashed tomatoes, and I use aromas because they aren't as watery. And when this cooks down, as this sauce is going to cook down for a long time, you want to extract more of that flavor from the tomato as opposed to just all the water. Because we are also going to add a quart, really 4 cups of vegetable stock. So I'm just getting this in here, kind of picking up those ingredients so I don't want them to brown too much on the bottom. Yes. And I wish this was smell-o-vision because, oh my goodness, it is fabulous. Fabulous. All right, here is our stock. And for me, my pan, it is just the right size. If you don't have a Dutch oven, but you have a different oven-safe pan, this is about 5 quarts. That's the size you want. Again, if you don't have this, but you have something you can, a pot that you can make this portion in and you put it in, maybe a casserole dish to bake, go ahead and do that. Don't let the fact that you don't have certain equipment discourage you from trying these amazing recipes or thinking, oh, I can't do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm all about not having to buy all the fancy stuff, but make do with what I have. So we are going to add just the rest of our ingredients. So I'm going to salt and pepper this to taste. That was probably about 2 teaspoons. I don't like to oversalt. I mean, salt does give flavor. I don't like to oversalt because, again, you can always add a little bit more salt later. I'm very conscious of those who have some high blood pressure. I don't want to be that person one day. A bay leaf, 2 cloves of garlic, crushed, peeled and crushed. I have a pinch of sugar here and a sprig of thyme. So we are going to get this to a boil. I will turn this up and get ready for our next step. So try not to too carefully watch it, just get it up to a boil. You can see my pot is a-bubbling. So I'm going to take this off of heat and put it in the oven, which has been preheating to a 375 degrees. And we'll let that just stay in there for 90 minutes. If you are using a lower pan, it's maybe about half the depth of this, still do 90 minutes. I may have to do it a little bit longer, but I'll let you know when we check it at that time. And so now you are free to do whatever you need to do and enjoy the smells. So this is our delicious sauce tomate or tomato sauce. This has been in the oven. It was 90 minutes. If you let it go a little bit longer, that's quite all right. My next and final step, actually I'm going to pull out these thyme sprigs and I'm going to put it in the blender and I'll show you the result in just a second. So after blending, this is my final product. See, it is thickened up. A couple hints about blending. You want to do it in batches. This recipe here made 10 cups of sauce. So you want to only fill up your blender about 1/3 of the way full. Otherwise, it is a mess. But yes, I'm keeping this in the fridge because I have several things I want to use with this this week. One of them is making mini pizzas with my family. But the rest I am going to freeze. Wonderful addition to soups. Definitely pasta sauce, a recipe you'd use tomato sauce with. But this is a classic sauce, and there's lots of other sauces that kind of use this as the root. If you like, subscribe. I would love to show some more for you. Thanks so much for tuning in to Crazy Turtle, and I hope all is well with you. Take care.